Hello everybody, hope that you are good. This video is going to be a bit different because it's not going to be the usual daily Bitcoin update. I don't know guys if you remember the an altcoin market update that I posted 3 weeks ago. So, well, this is going to be the second part. So we want to talk about many different charts. We want to talk about, of course, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin dominance, Total 3 versus Bitcoin, and a lot of altcoins. We're going to go through the 12 altcoins that I talked about in that previous video. We're going to see how they are doing, and we want to update about them. And of course, a new selection of 10 new altcoins, okay, that are not in that previous video. So get yourselves a drink and relax because this video is going to probably take a while. So the first thing, of course, has to be Bitcoin because you guys know that it's pointless if I start to chart an altcoin without charting Bitcoin previously because the altcoin market also follows Bitcoin. Of course, there are some exceptions of altcoins that move at their will, okay, usually new altcoins, but generally speaking, the altcoin market always follows Bitcoin, okay? So when I posted that video 3 weeks ago, I remember that we were in this zone, okay? Yeah, the time, that was around the 30th of July, so yeah, the time makes sense, 3-4 weeks ago. And I was telling you guys that I was quite bearish here for the simple fact that we were in this range and then we saw a deviation above the range highs. Remember that I was telling you guys that I was taking a short here, and I did. As soon as we got back inside the range and confirmed the deviation, and we were testing the range highs as resistance, then we broke out from the range to the downside, because that is usually what happens when you see the deviation in one of the ends of the range, okay? Then you usually see a breakout in the other end. That's usually what happens. So we were expecting that. Also in the daily time frame, we were testing the 50 MA as resistance and also the range lows, so it was not looking great. And eventually we dropped, okay? We were talking about two potential supports. One of them was this one, okay? Because we saw here the price got rejected twice and we saw two big sell-offs. So that zone could be tested as support. So I was telling you guys to not open any longs here, but wait for a deviation. And then if we go back above it, then you could open a long there at this point here, because otherwise you would see Bitcoin falling lower to the range lows. And that's where we are right now at, okay? Check that out. So we are right now in the exact place, okay? And now it's likely, in my opinion, remember that of course there is no financial advice, I'm just telling you my opinion. It's likely that maybe we see some more range in here, I don't care, okay? This range. But in the midterm, we're expecting more downside. Why? Because if we go to the weekly time frame, you can see that we've just lost the weekly 50 MA, and that is usually not a good sign. All right, so again, we might see some more range in here for quite some time, but we're eventually expecting a drop below these range lows, and we are targeting the 50% of this week, and that's around 20,500. Okay, you also have here a liquidity pool that will be your target around 22k, but because we have a long wick right below it, I'm targeting the 50% of the week instead, okay, around 20,700-ish. So that's what I think. Now, if the altcoin market follows Bitcoin and Bitcoin drops, then altcoins should also drop, right? But we have also another problem, and is that if we check the Bitcoin dominance, we were talking also about this chart for quite some time. Remember that we were in this range for 2 years. You can see that we started here right at the start of May 2021, and we also broke out from the range in May 2023. So that's exactly a 2-year range. And when we were at this point, I was telling you guys that it was very likely that we saw a breakout. It was 52%, 53%. We actually got to 52%. And then when we started to get rejected here, at this rejection, I was telling you that it was also likely now that we came again to this previous resistance zone to test it as support. And I think that that's what we are right now. You might see some people saying that the Bitcoin dominance is looking bearish, but if you put it in the bigger picture, I think that we are only just testing this previous 2-year resistance as support, okay? If we fall from here, then I think, in my opinion, it will be because Bitcoin is dropping also, which it will be bad for altcoins. I personally don't see at this point the Bitcoin dominance dropping back inside the range without Bitcoin dropping. So I think if the Bitcoin dominance gets back inside the range, it's because Bitcoin is also dropping. But now, for a second, think about this scenario of Bitcoin holding and the Bitcoin dominance having another leg up. I think that's more likely, or even more likely and more dangerous is if Bitcoin drops and the Bitcoin dominance holds this zone of support. Because if that happens, if Bitcoin is dropping towards 20k and the Bitcoin dominance is still in this zone between 49% and 48%, then altcoins are gonna get wrecked. So in my opinion, that scenario of Bitcoin holding and the altcoin market recovering this zone again, that's more likely. Or also again, if Bitcoin drops and the Bitcoin dominance also drops, that is more likely that Bitcoin doing good, like for example, Bitcoin holding or going up and the Bitcoin dominance dropping, because that would be an alt season, and I'm not calling an alt season. And you guys know me. Since all this time I haven't called for a single alt season, because I'm honest with you, and when we were at this point, I was telling you, don't listen to the alt seasons because those calls are not making sense at the moment. Because usually when you come to this resistance, you see maybe a spike, you drop, a spike, you drop, a spike, you drop, again and again. And here you were not seeing the same. If you notice, you kept seeing many candles testing the resistance. Here, many candles testing the resistance, but we were not dropping. We were just consolidating before a leg higher. Okay, and now we're testing a support, in my opinion. So again, the Bitcoin dominance, I don't think is looking bearish. I think in fact it's looking pretty good. If it drops from here, it'll be because Bitcoin is also dropping hard. Okay, so I'll remain bullish in the Bitcoin dominance at the moment, even if we just had a 3% drop, because that's normal. You know, in higher time frame, it might look like a 3% drop, but you're only testing this previous resistance as support. That's all. Now, if you go to the total total market cap of altcoins and stablecoins. So here you don't have neither Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's only, again, altcoins and stablecoins. You see here, and I talked about this in the previous video, that in my opinion this chart is also bearish. Why? Because we are making lower highs constantly, okay? It's all the time lower highs. Let me remove this for you, okay? If you check this, that's a high, but this one is lower, but this one is lower. Let me check, but I'm pretty sure it's lower. Yep, that's lower because that's the high, and then that's the lower, that's the higher low. Okay, so you are making all the time lower highs constantly, okay? Constantly. And I don't know what's gonna happen here, but if we keep making lower highs, and we have also these two liquidity pools, okay? We have one here, and we have one here. These ones are not liquidity pools because they are getting retraced by wicks, okay? So those ones don't count, but these two do. Then you have here this space that the total 3 could go to. And that would be really bad for the altcoins, because altcoins are basically in this chart. The exceptions are also in this chart. So if you're telling me, oh, Pepe, when Pepe was going up, it was also in this chart. Okay, everything, the whole altcoin market and the stablecoin market is in this chart. Okay, so personally, I don't know, guys, but you know, you have this low, you see lower highs, so it's likely that this, you know, comes towards this zone, or at least that's what I'm expecting. Okay, that we drop below this $300 billion zone towards the 230 or 210 billion dollars zone. Okay, that's what I'm expecting for the total 3, and of course your altcoins are gonna follow. All right, now if we go to the total 3 versus Bitcoin, all right, then we have here also, in my opinion, quite a bearish chart. You had here a lot of hits to the upside, but price couldn't break above this zone. So at the end, you had here a Bart Simpson pattern, okay? And now, for what I see, okay, is that we continuously are making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so the chart is looking something like this. I don't know. I think that it's very likely that we come to test this support zone over here, and if we fall from here, then you have here another support. So this is also not a zone where I want to buy. I want to buy more in this zone over here. This is also a chart that I'm using to consider when to change my Bitcoin for altcoins, okay? So that's what I think. I think that at least we'll come towards this support over here at 0.50. Right now we're at 0.64. Now let's go to the altcoins that we were talking about. Let's go to Chainlink, for example. Okay. Chainlink, we said that we were inside this range. We talked about this deviation. You guys remember? I did a video only for Chainlink some, I think it was 3 months ago or 2 months ago. We came to this deviation, then we saw the pump, and then when I posted that video 3 weeks ago, so we were then in this one over here, I was telling you that it was very likely that we revisit the lows again. And if you notice, we've just tested the range lows again. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen with the altcoins like, for example, Chainlink, that are holding a range for so long, when I'm expecting the total theory to continue dropping. I just think that, you know, I mean, this range is good. I like when we see this type of range, but I do think that it's also likely that we might see even lower prices. Okay, maybe something like this. Okay, but if I'm honest with you, I don't really know what's going to happen if I'm expecting a drop in the total free and in the altcoin market. I don't know what's going to happen with these altcoins that are in a range. Okay, because yes, these accumulation ranges are great. That's really good because that's telling you that yes, if we're at the lows and we are ranging, that means that, you know, there is probably going to be a breakout from here, and we want to have a good zone to consolidate and buy. But thinking that we're going to have a new altcoin drop, I only see 2 scenarios. Either that Chainlink tries to recover now, so when we dump, then it dumps again to the range lows, and at the end we keep ranging here and consolidating here. Or if Chainlink is still at the range lows and is looking weak when we have the next drop in the altcoin market, then we're also gonna make a new low. So let's see what happens with Chainlink. Also having here the weekly 50 MA, you know, we just tested that as resistance here and here. I wouldn't be surprised honestly if we continue making lower lows and we have a new low. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It's true that here you have an important support over there. You can see there. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but maybe you can see some form of deviation here. Okay, and then you can get back into the range and finally go higher. So that's what I'm looking for Chainlink. I'm quite scared to buy here, in my opinion. Again, you could buy here if you wanted, okay, and then DCA in case we have a new low. But at the moment I have so many altcoins that I'm looking at. I'm still doing my research, so I prefer to wait for now. Okay, if I have to buy higher, once we have this confirmation of this pump above the 50 EMA in the weekly time frame, tested a support, then I'll buy the confirmation. I'll miss out. Okay, but I think I'm gonna favor that it's likely that we make a new low for Chainlink. Okay, again, maybe a deviation below this potential support over here. Okay, something like that. So that's my new update for Chainlink. Now if we check Solana, let's check Solana. For Solana, we were, I think, let me go back, we were 30th of April, so we were in this zone over here, and we were also talking about potential drop again to this zone over here, okay, around $14. And of course, if you fall below this zone, okay, then you can target these levels, okay, this liquidity pool and this week. But I don't know if we're gonna go again to $8. I do really believe that we're gonna see $14 again. I think that's very likely, and in fact I think that's the most likely scenario, that we see $14, and then from there let's see what happens. Again, we go level by level, support by support. So if we fall below $14, then the next zone that I'm targeting is this liquidity pool around $10. Okay, that's my follow-up update for Solana. Then for OP, let's check OP. Okay. For OP, we were talking about the possibility. Let me go to the daily time frame instead. Of well, we're talking about this trend line over here. Okay. But we were also talking about deviation above this level. And you see it actually happened perfectly, in fact. Okay. You get deviation to 183. And then you saw a drop. Now we are back inside this range over here. Okay. But I do think that in the midterm, we're going to continue dropping. So let me remove this dot I did there. I think we're going to continue dropping. Why? Because we have here some wicks unfilled that I think they're going to get filled at some point. So once we have some daily candles below the range lows, the same as we did with Bitcoin, then I think that'll be the time to short again OP towards this level over here. Then if you lose this level, you're going to have also this level over here. And if you lose this level, you have also the 50% of this week, okay? So those are the targets for OP. I think that at least, in my opinion, it's likely that we come to this second week around 1.15. So that's what I'm targeting at the moment, all right? That's a zone that I'm planning to potentially buy for a spot. But also, again, if we get these that I'm asking, these daily candles below the range lows, then I'm also going to take this as a swing short. Okay, so I hope that's clear, guys. Let's continue with some altcoins that were in that previous video. Matic. Let's check Matic. Well, with Matic, I've been pretty clear. Is this my Matic chart? That's my Matic chart. With Matic, I've been pretty clear because we have this liquidity pool from here. Okay, that was the first zone that we were expecting price to go, and I've been calling that since we were around $1. Okay, and then you saw that drop. Then you had this trend line over here, and in that video of 3 weeks ago, I was telling you that, you know, having this trend line, it was very likely that we broke below this trend line, because usually when you see this trend line, there is a lot of liquidity in this zone. Okay, so it was very likely to drop again below this trend line and go to that liquidity pool again. But ultimate for Matic, if we go into higher time frame, weekly time frame, I think this is going to continue dropping, if I'm honest with you. I think this is going to continue dropping. I think that it's very likely that we come again to this zone. That will be around 0.40. But if we actually deviate a bit from these lows, I do think that the ultimate level for Matic that can drop to, okay, I don't think we're going to drop below this zone, but I think that there is a chance that we come to this zone. That would be 0.25-ish, okay? And I know it sounds a bit crazy because we're at 0.50, but how much of a drop is this? That's around 50 something percent drop, okay? But if you check from here, from my call of around $1 to this liquidity pool, that was already a 50%, and that already happened, and it might have sounded crazy, and it happened. So again, I do think that it's very likely that we come to this zone at 0.40. That one is probably about 35% drop, about a 30% drop, and then if you lose this zone, okay, then we're gonna come towards this liquidity pool over here. That's what I think. So a place that I want to buy Matic right now. Okay, I prefer to wait here. Also, I don't know if I'm gonna end up buying Matic or not. That's something that I haven't decided yet. But anyway, this is not the zone that I would like to buy Matic for the long term. I think we're gonna go lower, and it's quite important. I mean, you can start to this area if you want, but at the end, your average entry is gonna be higher. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you to try and time the bottom, because that's very hard. But if you keep doing DCA, okay, so if you bought, for example, you know, you've bought at here at 1, okay, if you bought in this drop here also at 0.80 or at 0.50, and then you drop again to 0.40 and again to 0.25, then your average entry is going to be at 0.66 or 0.70. It's going to be in this zone. So you're going to need to wait some months for price to go to break even. All right. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Be patient. I think that Matic is very likely to drop at least to 0.40, if I'm honest with you. Let's continue. AVAX or AVAX. Spanish accent detected. Well, AVAX. Wow. Okay, I didn't check this chart for quite some time, but we just made a new low. Nice. We've just made. Have we done that new low today? Let me check. No, it wasn't today. It was a couple of days ago. Okay, but we made a new low, and we were talking about AVAX, saying that it's a coin that is looking very weak. Okay, and to me this is the perfect definition of the current altcoin market. If you check AVAX versus Bitcoin, what do you see here? Look, I actually have drawn these arrows over here. We keep making lower highs all the time, okay? All the time lower highs. So it's likely the price comes again towards this zone. You have in here, quite a big liquidity pool, in fact. So, the only reason why AVAX didn't drop before in the dollar pair is because Bitcoin did at ×2 this year, okay? But now that Bitcoin is dropping, is when AVAX it can do a new lows, okay? These are the levels for AVAX. I'm still gonna stick to these levels. I think they're pretty good. I think this one is gonna be taken soon, to be honest, 9.50. But notice that we were around $14 when I posted that video. Now we're at 10. So I'm telling you guys, you just need to be patient, okay? So if you didn't watch that video, again, if you drop below 9.50 or you don't do a deviation here and you continue dropping, then I believe I'm gonna see $7 next. All right. So that's an update for AVAX. Now, Polkadot. Let me see. Okay, we haven't made new lows yet. We can see that we are holding above this support right now. But again, when you see a support like this holding, by the way, this is making again lower highs all the time. Okay, this is making lower highs. So maybe you see now another pump, but it should be again a new lower high from here. And then I do think that eventually we're gonna come to this zone over here around 3.50. So Polkadot, not much to update. Same projection in my opinion. Now if we go to Rose, let's check Rose. Oh wow, look, Rose has already hit our zones, if you notice, okay? So we were around here, okay? And we were saying that it was very likely that we came again to the range lows or even lower to the range, well, below the range, okay? And this is not looking great. This chart is not looking great because it seems that we have broke out from the range lows and we're testing a resistance. So you might even see a new low here, okay? We might print a lower low here. So Rose is not looking great because if it has already made this drop from here, okay, and we haven't held higher, and then maybe imagine that in some weeks or in a couple of months we see a new drop in the altcoin market, and we're already in this zone, that is very likely that we make new lows. So Rose is not a coin that I would touch right now if I'm honest with you. Okay, and with Near, wow, same scenario, okay? We've just made a new low, for what I can see. We've just made a new low, and he also hit our potential buy zone over here. So again, it's not great, okay? Because if it's already looking weak before the next drop in the altcoin market, what is that gonna take this coin? I was telling you that I didn't think that it was gonna go below $1. It still hasn't gone below $1. It went to $1.02. That's at 118. So let's see what it does. Okay, I would like to see, to be honest, Near pumping. Okay, and get some strength before that new drop that we might see. Okay, because otherwise this is gonna make new lows. All right, so Near is not another coin that I would touch. Again, if we reclaim these range lows, test it as support, then you can open along here. Okay, then you can even compound here. But for long term, honestly, if you are into DCA right now, I wouldn't touch it. because it's looking at the moment pretty weak. Okay, let's continue. Gala. Okay, for what I can see, I think that Gala just hit also a level that I was talking about. That was the 50% of this week. Yep, it did. Now you can see that it's consolidating here. But if we go into the weekly time frame, the chart is not looking great. It's true that it's, in my opinion, a high risk, high reward chart, because it's quite risky to put money into this chart when it has dropped 98%. This coin has really dropped. Okay, and it's looking still pretty weak. I think we're probably gonna come to this liquidity pool over here, and that would be, let me mark it for you, 0.165. okay, and that drop is another 15% drop. I don't know if you guys, if I want to make new lows with this coin. The chart is not looking great in my opinion, so this is a coin that I wouldn't touch just yet. So when I'm probably gonna continue updating about this coin, because again, like, just imagine if you buy, for example, here, and this pumps to I don't know, this one for example, that's a times 20. I mean, it's quite tasty, but again, the chart is not looking right yet. Now let's continue with Doge. Doge. So Doge is still in this consolidation range between the two yellow bars, and the orange line is the zone where we were talking about the possibility that Doge came to, okay, maybe even deviate here, and that would be a potential good buy zone, okay, but still it has some room to drop. When we made the video, we were at 8 cents, we're at 6 now, we came even to 5, but from here is still another 20% drop, okay, which I think that will come. Now if we go to the next one, FET, this is a coin that I actually find quite interesting, and I actually like. This is one of the ones I'll probably buy. I was talking about the idea that we had this trend line over here, and we had also this pump, quite an aggressive pump in January, March. No, actually in January was. And we were also talking about the idea that it was very likely that we came to test this trend line and also this support over here. And some people go offended. Some people go offended with this chart. But if I'm honest with you, we were 30th of April-ish. We were around, well, at the same level as now, but you can see that it made also a new low. Okay? That's a new low. And also, let me tell you something. This chart is making lower lows and lower highs. It's clearing a downtrend. Check this out. You have here a high, a low, then you have a lower high, a lower low, you have here another lower high, another lower low. What's next, guys? Well, it's probably gonna be another lower high and a new lower low until eventually we come towards this level. All right, so it's not looking great. I think that, I don't know if we're gonna go all the way to 11 cents. Let me check again into the weekly time frame. It might not be 11 cents as I mark here. It might be a bit higher, like maybe 12, but I still think that this is gonna drop still quite a lot, okay? And we're talking about maybe a 50% drop. I think it's quite likely, to be honest with you guys. So this is one of the coins that I'm actually researching, because I think it's a potential good project to buy for the long term. Again, this is not a shill. This channel is not promoted by any coin. I'm not promoting anything. I don't have any bag of fetch at the moment, so I'm not trying to pump it, okay? I'm just telling you that I'm still expecting maybe a 50% drop towards 11 cents, and I'm probably gonna buy if we get this drop, okay? For the long term, because I think that this coin can, of course, break the highest at $1 and probably go to $3-4 likely, okay? So this is one of the projects that it might do at times 20, times 25 in the next bull run if they do the things right. But again, I might talk about artificial intelligence coins in the next video. Let's continue. There was only one more coin to update from the previous video, okay? And that's Vulcan Forge. This coin is in a range. as you can see. And the last time that I talked about this token was the idea of a deviation. Hang on, let me change the color to yellow. The idea of a deviation below the range lows. Okay. Sorry. Something like this. All right, and that could take you to maybe 2.50-ish. All right, below 3 for sure. So I'm looking to buy this between 2.50, maybe could go maybe lower to 2.50, $2, something like that. Okay, in this zone, I think that would be a good buy zone for this project. And that is everything, guys. That's the update of the previous 12 altcoins that I talked about. I know we're gonna talk about 10 new altcoins. Again, it's not 10 new altcoins in the market, okay? They are well known. I mean, 10 new altcoins in this channel that I didn't mention before. So the first one is Phantom. Let's check Phantom. No, that's not the chart that I like. I think that I like this one. Yep. Well, I don't have anything, but basically, pretty much it looks the same as the Total 3. Okay. I think that we're in this accumulation range, but since I'm expecting a new drop in the altcoin market in the Total 3, then I think that Phantom is probably gonna make a new low, if I'm honest with you. Maybe a deviation here below these range lows. Okay. Then consolidate even more, and then you can see here the breakout to the upside. Probably, as I mentioned in previous videos, by looking at the cycles, we have a halving every 4 years, and usually the year of the halving, that's when the bull market starts. It usually is 2-3 months after the halving. So if the next halving is going to happen in spring 2024, then probably we'll see a new bull run according to the cycle. In summer 2024, maybe in August, something like that. Okay. But remember that if you support the idea, you should also support the idea that in every pre-halving year, the second part of each pre-halving year, it's quite bearish. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a new low printing in Phantom. Maybe it's 0.15, 0.14, okay? And that would be another 30% drop for this coin, okay? So that's what I think of Phantom. I'm not saying that I'm buying or not. I'm still doing my research, but this is not somewhere I would buy. I think it's going to go even lower. Now, if we go to XRP, let's see what XRP is doing. I think I have this chart. Hang on. Some of you will remember this chart. Because when we saw this pump when Ripple won the court case against the SEC, then everybody got euphoric. And XRP pumps to the upside is normal, but it's also quite normal. And I told here my friend Elise that when this coin pumps this hard, bad things come in the next days. And so it did. Look at that, okay? That's some kind of an exit liquidity pump, okay? Now you are again back inside the range. It's true that you're holding the 50 EMA in the weekly time frame, but I do think that it's very likely that we come again to the mid-range here. That's around 0.40, okay? And if we hold here, because I believe that this coin, it's quite strong, so it's likely that we hold about here, then this might be, we might see some consolidation again here. If you lose this mid-range, then as in every range, you would be targeting the range lows, okay? I don't know if we'll arrive there, if we'll get there, okay, again to 0.30, but I do think that we're gonna probably get again to 0.40. That's what I think, but for now, I wouldn't open any shorts because we're above the weekly 50 EMA. All right, so just looking from a long-term spot buying perspective. Now, some of you mentioned this coin, Woo. And look, you have here a drawing, okay? This is pretty much what I think, if I'm honest with you. We're in a range, we had a deviation here. I do think that it's very likely that we come again to the range lows and print a deviation also to the downside, okay? So I think that this coin should probably drop below 10 cents, okay? Maybe around 0.9. From there, I think that would be the perfect buying opportunity. And again, remember that I think this because I think that the Total 3 is gonna have another leg lower. If it doesn't happen, then Woo wouldn't make a new low, all right? So keep that in your mind, because it's normal that you disagree with me. But again, this is what I think. I think that volatility is gonna have a new leg lower, and because of that, I think this coin is probably gonna go below the range lows, okay, before going higher. So that's what I think of this coin. Then you also mentioned Compound, I think it's called. I see pretty much the same thing, okay? You have here a range, okay? You go down, you go up, down, up, down, up. This is just some kind of consolidation. So I do think that this coin has something quite important, and it's that it has a liquidity pool at the highs, okay? That's a liquidity pool. So that's a target, in my opinion, for the next bull market. And if it drops again to the range lows, okay, then from here all the way to that liquidity pool up there, that would be times 25, a 25x. I mean, that would be amazing, okay? So that's what I'm looking for this coin. I think we're gonna revisit probably the range lows again. Let's continue. Let's check this coin. Data, okay, same thing. You know, you're in a range, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. You're also testing the weekly 50 MA as resistance, for the simple fact that I'm expecting a new low in the total 3, then I think that we're probably gonna come again to the range lows, and very likely even print a new low, okay, before coming back up. All right, so that's what I think for this coin. Maybe it goes to 3 cents, okay? Right now we're at almost at 6 cents, so that will be maybe a 40% drop. Yeah, 40% drop, say, okay? That's what I think for ADA. Let's continue. Cardano, ADA. Same thing, all right, guys? Range, deviation to the upside, okay? And your other range lows is looking very, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I've also mentioned before that my potential buy zone for this coin is going to be this liquidity pool over here, because I think we're working towards it. We've already filled pretty much half of it. We made a new low, and we talked about the idea also. I think I made a video of Cardano 3 months ago, and we were mentioning the idea of a new low. It got there, but I even think that it's gonna go lower, because in that video we were also mentioning this target over here, okay, around 18 cents. Do I think we'll get there? I do. I think it's likely that Cardano maybe takes another drop here, okay, before coming back up. So that's what I think for Cardano. I think we're probably gonna come to 0.18. Nothing has changed. Same projection that I had 3 months ago. Let's continue. Some more altcoins. Ocean, another artificial intelligence coin that I'm probably gonna buy. This coin is quite interesting because it puts together big data with artificial intelligence. So it's something that I'm looking into, okay? You were here inside this range, then you had the breakout, but if you notice now, price is bleeding slowly. It's making lower highs and lower lows, okay? So it's very likely that we have a lower. So it's very likely that we continue bleeding slowly. We are right now below the 50 EMA in the weekly time frame. Bad sign. Get back inside the range, okay, and maybe go again towards either the mid-range here, okay, around 20 cents or 15 cents. Those two would be my buy zones for Ocean, okay. Quite, not gonna lie to you, it's quite aggressive. What I'm expecting, okay, we're talking about 40% drop or a 50% drop, but I believe we're probably gonna see that, okay. So that's what I think for Ocean. Now, if we check Injective, many of you mentioned this coin. I saved this one almost for the end because this coin is behaving very differently than the other coins that we talked about. There is no range here, as you can see, okay? But there is a beautiful W formation here. Check that out. Then goes up. You had the retrace to the weekly 50 MA. Textbook, perfect. And then another a new high, okay, in this trend. So beautiful pattern. I like how it behaved in terms of price action, and personally I think that this coin is gonna come to test again the weekly 50 MA. Right now it's at 7.2 $25 and the weekly 50 MA is at $5.67. So that would be already let me tell you, that would be already around 15% drop or 20% drop. I think we'll get there if I'm honest with you. Okay, and then from here, let's see how it reacts, because this coin is true that it moves different than the rest of the altcoin market. So if we go to the weekly 50 MA, which I think we will, then let's see what it does, because we might see another reaction from here and make a new high, or if we fall below the weekly 50 MA, then I want you to pay attention to this, because that would signal that you should wait for a retest as resistance of this 50 MA. And then you're gonna go again to the base of this W formation. That's around this level of $3. That also goes together with the base of this W bottom here. Well, not the base, okay, but you guys know what I mean, the breakout. And also with this long wick over here, because yes, there is a long wick over here, okay? So that's what I think. I think that something like that puts together with the 50% of the week around $3. It's very likely if we, again, only if we fall below the weekly 50 MA and we test it as resistance. Otherwise, you still have the possibility of coming to the 50 MA, test it as support, and have a new high. I'm not dismissing the idea because this coin moves quite differently, okay? So I know that some of you asked for this coin, so I hope that you are happy now. Litecoin, okay, this another coin that is looking quite strange compared to the other altcoins. You had the halving, but to be honest, I think the halving was around here or somewhere like here, and price has only doomed since then, okay? I have here two setups. I have one for the short term and one for the midterm. So for the short term, go to the daily time frame. We have this wick over here that it hasn't been filled. So, and you also have here a liquidity pool that hasn't been retraced. So I think that maybe you see here some more consolidation, even a small pump, but price should eventually come lower to fill this wick and also to retrace this liquidity pool over here, okay? So that would take you to around $50, $51, $52. And for the midterm, I do think that it's very likely that we come again to these lows. Sorry, let me use this line so it's not a wonky line. Okay, I think it's likely that we come to these lows of around $47, $48, and then if we drop from here, if we lose this level, then the next level would be $30, because if we go to the weekly time frame, sorry, to the monthly time frame, you go here, you go yourself a week, and that will be the 50% of the week, okay? So basically, I think that Litecoin is gonna go to $50, $47, $48, okay, to that zone. And if we lose this zone, then get ready, because I think you're gonna be able to buy at $30, okay? So two buy zones depending on how it behaves. That's the first one. If it holds above here, then you can buy here. If we lose this zone, then you can buy lower here, okay? So that's my analysis for Litecoin. Let's continue. What's the next coin? Arbitrum. Arbitrum, USDT. This coin, I mean, guys, how do you go to chart this? This is the weekly time frame, and look and see how it looks. It's difficult to chart this, okay? But if I'm honest with you, I mean, it's difficult to chart, but I think we're gonna probably break below this low here, okay? That's your low, but because I'm thinking that there is going to be another leg down in the altcoin market, then Arbitrum should drop lower. Where to is difficult to tell, okay? I could tell you 75 cents, 80 cents, I don't know, okay? Could be high, could be lower, because we don't have much history in the chart to tell you where there are potential buy zones, okay? But yeah, I think we're gonna probably come below here, probably to around 80 cents, but could be again lower. That's what I think. This, I don't know how much of a drop this would be. Around 20%. Again, it could be lower. I don't know. Okay, we'll continue charting this coin. but it's true that the technology looks good. So this might be one of the coins that I'm also gonna look for buying for the next bull market. So that's pretty much everything, guys. I'm sorry that the video was so long, but I wanted to do another update of the previous 12 altcoins and then add these 10 new altcoins. Okay, so hope that you enjoyed. Hope that I covered your altcoins. If I haven't, and you still want me to charge other altcoins, please let me know in the comments, and we might see a part 3. This might turn into some kind of trilogy, like Lord of the Rings. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.